it's Rana again from Curly's Clay Creations, and I just bought this new well, actually I bought this beautiful new dress, but I cut it up for patterns so I can make texture on my mugs, and it's so pretty that I decided to make a video as I make a few mugs using this. It was a thrift store find. I think I probably paid like $3 for this dress, and broke my heart to cut it up, but after I saw some of the results, I didn't regret it so much. Here's a few that I made using that fabric. And here's another. I actually haven't decided if I want to make that kind of mug or this kind of mug right now. Isn't that so cool? So that's what I'm going to be making today. Okay, usually I have this already rolled out, but we'll do everything on video today. I usually use white stoneware, but I have a box of this Tomoku clay that I figured, let's see how this texture will look on dark clay. So that's what I'm using today. I'm just over here rolling out my clay. Okay. I know some people are going to ask me how thick I roll this out, but my roller is dialed. It's 3 dials to the right. I'm not exactly sure how thick that is. Let's see if I could do this. Okay, it looks like it is an 1/8 of an inch, a little bit between an 1/8 and a 1/4. So that's all I can tell you about the thickness. So let's see. And I use my clay right out of the bag. I don't wedge it before I use it. Some people swear by it. I've never really had an issue. It's pretty good consistency. I just compress the clay before I imprint. Okay. So here's the lace that I brought. It's beautiful. And the reason I love it even more is that the circles, first slab that I'm rolling out, I'm going to make the bottoms of the mugs. And the circles that are actually on the lace are just perfect size for my mugs because the bottom sits perfectly in one of the designs. So this first slab will be for the bottoms. So I'm going to try to move the circles so most of my clay is covered by full circles. All right, that gives me a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mugs right there. So Ready for this? I just love it. All right, so let me cut these out real quick. Oil my cookie cutter. And I think I'm gonna make the taller mug rather than the teacup style mug. And usually with the teacup style mug, this right here, I usually use this side of my cookie cutter and make it sort of look like a coaster on the bottom of these mugs. I think are pretty cool. And with this mug, I put the design on the inside. I don't know if you could see it, yep. Instead of the bottom side, because sometimes when I do the bottom side, I don't know where to sign my mugs, and this allows me to give some room for my autograph. But those aren't the mugs I'm going to be making today. These are. So I'll be making these, which have the design on the bottom. So with this one, I just put my signature right there, the rim. I think that'll be good enough. So that's what I'm planning on making. Perfect. So the bottoms are done. I'll let those sit aside and dry for a bit. So I have this slight addiction with texture, and I find the best place to find stuff is Salvation Army. So I bought this dress that I showed you earlier, and obviously I'm using that. And I've also bought sweaters and cut them up. This leaves a great texture too. But I use things other than just fabric. I go through the little knick-knack aisles. I find plenty of things that I could use. Alright, let me roll this out. compress this side. That looks good. Okay. I was planning on making the taller mugs, but let's see, based on the width of the designs, if I can actually make each mug a certain pattern so that they don't overlap and cut in between the pattern. And I've shown you these before in my other videos of the folder dividers, and the good thing is they're see-through. Well, when they're not so dirty, typically they're see-through. But the good thing about this is you can see where you place your pattern and how it falls onto the other pattern to see if it overlaps. And since this bigger one does overlap on the other patterns, I think I'm going to do the shorter mugs. And here's the difference. It's actually 3/4 of an inch shorter. Wet, obviously. But I think this works better with a full design. There you go. Yep. And that would be perfect. So I'll start with these ones. I'll probably be able to make 3 mugs out of this slab. So the width of the mug gets cut straight. And the sides of the mugs are cut on an angle so you have a beveled edge. It gives you a smoother seal and seam when you put the mug together. Same direction slant on both sides of the mug. And then move it down. That was a little crooked, so since that was a little crooked, I'm just going to draw a new slab. I don't want to put these to waste since they're already rolled out. I might as well cut them out and use them for either more mug bottoms or something else, maybe a little trinket dish or something. That's good. I'll let these firm up just a bit. And while I do that, I'll roll out a few handles. I like to wet my board so that the handles don't dry out too much as I roll them. Since I roll them on the cement board and it just sucks up some of the moisture. This is my easy handles. I'm not a big fan of pulling handles, so this to me is the next best thing. About good. And I bring my fabric, cover the coil. You can either just cover it like that or actually roll it in the fabric. I'll show you how it's done rolling it in the fabric. So that you get the pattern all the way around instead of just on the one side. So I overlap the fabric slightly and I roll it into it, and then I lightly go over it to flatten it. And you have it patterned on both sides. So with this size mug, I need a 6.5 inch handle. So I'll go ahead and measure these out. Perfect. Exactly what I need, 6.5. So I'm going to bevel the top to attach to the top of the mug and bevel the opposite end to attach to the bottom of the mug. score these. I don't want these to dry too much, so I'll slightly cover them, put them aside, and I can go ahead and score the bottoms while I let those slabs sit for a bit. Okay. I'll go ahead and score the sides that are beveled. This is a great scoring tool for that, by the way. I don't know, can you see? There you go. It's perfect. Just a couple strokes and you got a full area. It's XIE. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Tools. I have my red slip in a red ketchup bottle. Clever, huh? Alright. I lift it up slowly and gently, stand it up, and then press gently to attach. And you should have a good flat wall. So that's exactly what I have done already without even smoothing it out. So and the beveling really helps with that because it keeps your walls even also. So I slightly missed the inside where the seam is and blend. It over. That looks good. All right. I'm going to attach the bottom on this side. So I go ahead and score the top or the bottom actually, and then add a little bit more slip. since that's the round one, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the round for the bottom. And I'm gonna go ahead and attach the bottom. That turned out pretty. I clean the edges once they're about leather hard. I clean out the edges and I soften the lip area. And I usually clean out the inside of the mug while there's still slip on the bottom that's wet to sort of close off the seam on the bottom of the mug. I wet my brush just a bit and smooth out the bottom. Okay. And I'll just finish this one mug for the video. Obviously, I wasn't going to put you through watching me make all, how many were they? 17, 13? So I'll just make this one. Typically, I put the handle on the seam to sort of like mask it a little bit. I went ahead and added slip to my handle. I attached the first part first. Squeeze gently, holding it from the inside. Smooth out the end that's beveled to sort of blend it into the mug. And then I attach the bottom. Same way, my finger on the inside. There you go. And then typically, let's see if I can find it. Of course, I can't find it. But I will get a stamp. I have a little floral stamp, a wooden stamp, and I usually just stamp the bottom handle right there to put a decoration in it. Here, I'll show you an example actually. Like that. So you can add a stamp to it. You don't have to. I think it adds a little bit of character to the handle. But there you go. I think it looks pretty cool. And I'm liking the matching bottom too. So, good luck with your finds. Incorporate any sort of texture. And I'll be happy to hear from you. Let me know what you think.